All right, we have now the final chapter of We Never Learn. You might remember on the previous channel I read like maybe the first 50 or so chapters of this, and it was kind of fun to read. Mostly I like to talk about like the art. I think the art direction in the series is fantastic. The plot is pretty standard harem stuff, so there wasn't a whole lot to say about it. Such that when I switched to not showing the art for it because I got copyright takedowns, it just didn't really feel super worth it. So we haven't read the series on the channel in a long, long, long time. There's been lots of good arcs since then. Most notably and strangely and surprisingly has been these final arcs. A harem series is all around the tension of what girl will the protagonist choose? Who is going to win the Narayuki Ball? They started a little arc where Aruka confesses and Narayuki accepts, and they get married and they kiss and blah blah blah. And I thought, wow, Aruka won! Oh my gosh, they did it! Just kidding. At the end of that, they said end of route 1 out of 5. Please stay tuned for the next route. And then Ogata got a route, and literary girl named Forgotten got a route, and Senpai got a route, and then Sensei got a route. I don't know, it was like a very weird way to do it, because in my mind it didn't have the sense of like, oh, everyone won. It felt like none of those happened. Not that every one of them happened in some sort of superposition, but just that it ended with Narayuki kind of going out into this ether, and then it was all just fantasy from that point on, that canonically like nothing happened. Really, really strange. I'm not really sure how it's been received. I thought the individual arcs themselves were kind of nice, except for the awkwardness of like, before it was quite an ensemble cast, like most of the big arcs involved all of the characters to some extent. Other characters would keep popping up in cameos. But then in these final arcs, it was very, very limited how much the other girls would appear. I guess to just avoid the awkwardness of like, oh, hey, remember like 5 chapters ago when we were married? Just kidding, that never happened. Now I'm just your friend. So that was kind of weird. Aside from that, I enjoyed them though. I have no idea what's going to happen in this final chapter. They finished all of the routes. Very, very, very curious to see what more there is to do. Predictions are like harem route. Do you really think they would? I don't think they would. It's just, how would they do it in one chapter, even if they did it? It would be totally insane. Or perhaps some sort of self-fulfillment, I don't need to be in a relationship with anyone kind of ending also seems bad. At any rate, because this is like the bonus route, it kind of feels like it's even more canon than all of the other ones, but those didn't really feel canon to begin with. It's really weird. Let's just read it. I have no idea what to expect. So yes, routes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all concluded. You can see kind of final snapshots of where we left off with each of them. It seems a little imbalanced that Sensei we ended with her wedding. Aruka has been married for a while, but whatever. And now we see all of the girls together. Are they actually going to do it? It just doesn't seem like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like the attitude that the series had would be at all compatible with this. And in the end, we still have one more story of another world. Route 6 out of 5. The fuck? Okay. So now we go back to before the exams. They're still studying for their entrance exams. Okay, so none of the routes have happened yet. None of them will in this alternate reality. Then once again, the girls are begging for help. Fumino, that's her name. I knew it started with an F. They're all freaking out. I need you to slap me, silly. What a time. Last week is our last school festival of high school. Now we're in the thick of exam prep. So the way they kind of like justified having these different routes is that reality diverged during the school festival, when there's the tradition, whoever you're holding hands with during the fireworks you'll end up as a couple, and that in each of these different realities, Nariyuki ends up holding the hand of someone different. Sure. So who's left? Who else could have grabbed his hand? Study session, huh? So Senpai shows up. Okay, she's in her maid outfit. Sure. Once again, just very fun paneling, very fun faces. The sort of stuff that I really respect this series for. And then Senpai shows up, of course. I mean, Sensei, Kirisu Sensei, sure. I wonder what it means, Firework Legend. Oh my god. Is it that, like, they all came over and helped him up together? Is that they're really doing the harem rap? No way, right? No way. Really? No way. It's just a superstition. Under the circumstances, obviously it doesn't count. It's gonna be like they show that all of them took his hand, but then they don't show the aftermath. They don't show that he actually gets together with all of them. That's just implied. I think that would be... I think that's what it's gonna be. Okay. Yeah, they all held hands together. All of the different supporters clubs of those three girls. And then they stumble into Sensei and Senpai. Okay, yeah. Uh-huh. They're all touching. Maybe it's just that if you're touching each other, maybe you don't have to hold hands. And then the little sisters show up, of course. They can't get left out. And then all the supporters clubs are gonna pile on too. So they're really making it goofy. They're really going over the top here. Okay. So it's not like a serious harem end. It's gonna be like oh no, this is like a disaster sort of harem end, maybe. Yeah, everybody piles on. Everyone is touching Nariyuki during the final firework. Alright. I don't know. This is a good shot, I think. Nariyuki just totally smothered by everybody. It's funny. I'm kind of surprised, though, that, like, this is kind of the corner that they've painted themselves into, I guess. That they already had all of the sentimental scenes with all of the different girls. So now there's, like, not really any room for sentimentality without favoring one girl over the other, right? Which I guess was kind of what they were aiming for, to give this sort of sense of equality, that everyone wins equally. But if the only way they can do that is by having kind of a really weird, comical, irreverent ending, I don't know. Do you think people that are really emotionally connected to the series will appreciate that? Or will they be kind of frustrated that it sort of ends with a gag? I don't know. Myself, there was a few arcs that really moved me. A few chapters where I kind of teared up a bit. But I wouldn't say that I'm like super invested in like one particular character or another. It's not really how I read series anymore. So it's hard for me to know like exactly, what the diehard fans of the series are gonna think. So when the first fireworks of the closing ceremony goes off, any boy and girl who are touching are destined to be together. Senpai, you're just making that up, aren't you? To me? Be the school legend before long. So this is Nariyuki's dad making this, I guess. I think that's what's going on here. Yeah. And I think that's Nariyuki's mom. All stepping stones. As long as we believe things are possible, the impossible is always just a stepping stone to the possible. One day I'll make this legend come true. Oh, so that's how we got the little bandage. Sure. Legend or no legend. Instead of wondering about the future, we can make it whatever we want to, as long as we believe we can. Because we're always at the crossroads between infinite possible futures. Okay, so this is kind of another reference to this diverging realities. everybody wins simultaneously. They're all co-canon routes. Again, it's a very strange choice to me. I really don't know how it's going to go over with people that were very emotionally invested in one particular possible ending or another. But it's a nice sentiment. It's still a very, very nice sentiment, even if you remove this sort of meta context of the story's structure. Right? I mean, it's true. It's true. Any moment can be the crossroads of your life. Any moment can be the moment that you decide to do this or that or whatever. And who knows? There's anything can happen in this life, for better or worse. Okay, this is weird. So now each of them is having visions of their route. I'm remembering things that never happened. So this is kind of like taking place like after all of those routes. And it's saying like all of them, what we saw was just the delusions of each girl after that incident. So like it really didn't happen, and yet in their minds it all happened. Oh boy. The lack of mental discipline. As a student, thinkable. Alright. So this is kind of weird though, because this also decanonizes the fact that they like passed their exams and stuff, right? Like that's saying that didn't happen yet. And so we again wondered, did it happen at all? Like, will it happen now that these things have like changed the timeline? Something? Okay. And then we return to the first message of the entire series. Be a person who understands the struggles of others. And I really think this is a very, very beautiful sentiment. Something that I really, really try to follow in my own life is to truly empathize and understand what other people are going through. And to give people the benefit of the doubt. And to take people on good faith. And to assume that people want to be good. People want to help others. People want to have meaningful, beautiful, happy lives, and that it's their struggles. It's the things that are unfortunately conflicting with that desire that sometimes make people make mistakes and do things they regret and hurt one another. So that if you understand that, if you understand people are struggling, that each of us is carrying a huge burden, then you can be at peace with that. You can be at peace with a lot of the suffering in the world. You can kind of make sense of it in a way. I don't know. Of course, there's limitations. I see no reason to be at peace with, say, the politics of the world or the emotional, or the environmental devastation of the world. There's no reason to be at peace with that. That's not because of anybody's struggles. That's just because capitalism is a death cult. But on an individual level is what I mean. I think it's very important to take each other at good faith. Right in front of my eyes, infinite futures are unfolding. Wrestling with vague fears. All these crazy side characters. The friggin' sister. So is the sister having a delusion too? Are they all having delusions? Also, look at this little drawing of Rizu. The figure thing that she's made. The little plushie, I guess. That's true for everyone. So I'm here with you. Together, we'll take one step at a time. As long as we believe that in every possible future and every possible vision of ourselves, our paths will continue. Nice. I quite like that ending. I'm very impressed with how they're able to have a very sentimental ending, tie in a lot of the themes of the series, work with the very complicated structure that they'd tried of showing all of these routes. Nice. It was a good series. I thought it was a definite improvement over like Nisekoi, and that it stripped out a lot of the very unnecessary elements. It didn't really jerk us around very much. It felt like a lot of meaningful things happened. Of course, there's going to be some amount of harem series tedium of just the loop of no progress, but I think they handled it a lot better than a lot of series. And as I said, just the presentation was fantastic. I thought the art was great, the characters were well designed, the paneling especially was just so much fun. Yeah, it was all good. I wish Shaft made an anime of it, like they did Nisekoi. Good, 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 good. Let's I don't know, let's see what the author does next, I guess. Or probably let's just pick up some other similar shonen romance series to fill the gap. Are there any that are airing right now, or sorry, running right now? All of these look like they have like battle elements as well, on top of romance potential. Maybe this? What the heck is this? This looks like a comedy. King of Ints, you're going to Larva this... a little intriguing. Yeah, let me know. Is there another series like this that I can pick up? I don't know if I'm going to read it on the channel, but I just enjoy having kind of this cheesy, repetitive harem romance series in my life. So I'm curious for any recommendations. Okay, that's all for now. Bye-bye.